Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin with a simple yet startling observation. Only 5%, 5 out of every 100 people over the age of 70 can still do 5 basic things. Not extraordinary things, not superhuman feats, just 5 fundamental tasks that signal the difference between independence and dependence, vitality and decline. Now let me ask you, do you want to be among the 95 who can't or the 5 who still can? Because here's the hard truth. Aging is not just a matter of time, it's a matter of choices, compounded daily. And if you think the body just falls apart because the calendar flips another year, you're underestimating the power of responsibility and discipline to transform your trajectory. That kind of thinking, that resignation, is the beginning of decay, not age itself. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. Now let's talk about the 5 things. These are the benchmarks. If you can do them after 70, you're likely not only to live longer, but to live well. Standing up from the floor without using your hands might sound trivial, even laughably simple, until you realize how profoundly it reflects the state of your physical health. It's one of those movements we take for granted, right up until the moment we can't do it anymore. But the ability to rise from the floor using only your legs and core is actually one of the most powerful predictors of longevity and functional independence. This single action recruits multiple muscle groups, quads, glutes, hamstrings, abdominals, even spinal stabilizers, and integrates them into a coordinated effort. That means if you can do it, your system is intact. If you can't, it's starting to unravel. The truth is, it's not just a measure of strength, it's a measure of control, of integration, of how well your nervous system communicates with your musculoskeletal system. It's about balance, proprioception, spatial awareness, timing. It demands mobility in the hips, flexibility in the ankles, and enough cardiovascular efficiency to avoid feeling winded from the effort. It's not a task, it's a diagnostic tool. Research backs this up. Studies have shown that people who can sit and rise from the floor without assistance tend to live longer, healthier lives. In fact, in one longitudinal study, individuals who failed this basic movement were 5 to 6 times more likely to die within the next 6 years than those who could perform it successfully. That's not correlation. That's causation, staring you in the face. When your body loses the ability to execute primal movements, it's telling you the end is beginning. But here's the most important thing. It's trainable. You're not stuck where you are. Neuroplasticity doesn't vanish with age. Muscle doesn't stop responding to resistance. The nervous system can still be trained to fire more effectively. You can practice standing up from the floor the same way you would train for a marathon or a heavy lift. Slowly, repeatedly, with focus, with intention, and it will pay dividends. You want to live longer? You want to live better? Start with the ground, train the movement. Reclaim it. Because the floor is not your enemy. It's your proving ground. It shows you what you're made of and whether your body still serves you or has started to abandon ship. Walking briskly for 30 minutes without stopping might seem like an ordinary activity, something so mundane that it hardly deserves special mention. But embedded within that simple motion is a complex, high-stakes measure of your health, vitality, and future. The ability to walk continuously at a moderate or brisk pace for half an hour is not just about getting from one place to another. It's about sustaining forward motion, physically and metaphorically, well into your later years. When you walk briskly, your entire cardiovascular system is engaged. Your heart pumps faster. Your lungs expand more deeply. Your circulation improves. This rhythmic, repetitive motion boosts oxygen delivery to every cell in your body, including the brain. It sharpens cognition, stabilizes mood, and reduces the risk of degenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. In fact, some of the most compelling research on brain health in seniors points to consistent walking as a key intervention, often more effective than medication. But walking isn't just about endurance. It's about posture, balance, rhythm, and muscular coordination. A body that can walk for 30 minutes without complaint is one that still moves efficiently. Every step involves a controlled fall. One foot lifts, the body shifts, the other foot catches you. That takes subtle strength, coordination, and the kind of neuromuscular intelligence that declines when not used regularly. And when that goes, what follows isn't just slower walking. It's falling, isolation, hospitalization. The real power of walking lies in its simplicity. You don't need a gym, a trainer, or a perfect body. What you need is discipline, a commitment to carve out that time daily, regardless of the weather or your mood, because those 30 minutes are an investment, a compound interest strategy for your future self. And for people over 70, it's one of the few movements that can be safely performed, often at scale, with massive upside and minimal risk. The irony is that walking feels easy until you can't do it anymore, and by the time it's hard, the damage has already been done. So the time to act is before the struggle begins. Build a habit now, train the capacity, create a buffer of resilience in your legs, your lungs, your life. Because walking is not just about staying mobile. It's about staying human. Lifting something that weighs at least 20 pounds may not sound like a milestone worth celebrating until you realize how central this basic strength is to everyday life. 20 pounds is roughly the weight of a bag of groceries, a toddler, a small suitcase, or a household chore that needs doing. It's not a heroic lift, it's a foundational one. And yet for many people over 70, this level of strength has quietly slipped away, leaving behind dependence, frustration, and a creeping sense of fragility. Strength is not optional as you age, it's essential. Muscle is not just tissue, it's a reservoir of vitality. When you lose it, your metabolism slows, your bones weaken, your balance falters, and your risk of injury skyrockets. Muscle protects you. It stabilizes your joints, cushions your bones, and quite literally keeps you on your feet. If you can't lift 20 pounds today, what happens when you need to catch yourself in a fall, or push yourself up off the floor, or carry something important up a flight of stairs? That lack of ability isn't just inconvenient, it's dangerous. But what's more important is that strength can be built at any age. Muscle fibers respond to resistance. Your body, even in your 70s or beyond, is still capable of adaptation. The process is slower, sure. The recovery is different, but the potential is there, waiting to be activated. This is not about lifting heavy weights for the sake of ego. It's about reclaiming your usefulness. It's about having the ability to contribute, to serve, to function independently. There is also a psychological shift that happens when you regain strength. You start to feel less fragile, less anxious. Strength builds confidence. It instills a sense of control. And that matters immensely, because when you feel capable physically, it ripples into your mental and emotional health. You don't see yourself as someone who's falling apart. You see yourself as someone who's still in the game. So lifting 20 pounds isn't just about the weight itself, it's about what it represents. Capacity, resilience, freedom. And the best part? It's within reach. You can train for it. You can earn it back. You don't need to accept weakness as your default state. You can fight for your strength. And in doing so, you fight for your life. Balancing on one foot for 10 seconds might appear laughably simple until you try it and realize how much is happening beneath the surface. This small test reveals a lot more than it seems. It's not about athleticism. It's about integration. Your muscles, joints, eyes, ears, and brain all have to work together seamlessly. When they don't, your body wobbles. And in those wobbles is a silent warning. Something is starting to slip. Balance isn't just a physical skill, it's a neurological one. It's a reflection of how well your brain is managing your body in space. Your inner ear, your cerebellum, your proprioceptive feedback system, they're all coordinating in real time to keep you upright. When your ability to balance declines, it's not just your legs getting weaker. It may be your nervous system showing early signs of disconnection or cognitive aging. That makes this test a surprisingly strong predictor of both physical health and even neurological decline. For seniors, the consequences of poor balance are profound. Falls are the #1 cause of injury deaths in older adults. They break hips, cause traumatic brain injuries, and often start a cascade of hospital visits, surgeries, and long-term care. But it doesn't begin with a fall. It begins with instability that slowly creeps in until one small misstep changes everything. The good news? That kind of decline is not inevitable. Balance is a trainable skill. Practicing balance isn't about standing on a tightrope. It's about rebuilding the foundation of your movement system. Exercises that strengthen the feet, the core, the hips, and even the eyes and neck contribute to better control. The more you practice, the more the nervous system learns. Neural pathways can be retrained, muscles can be retrained, and with consistency, what was once shaky becomes steady. There's also a deeper metaphor here. Balance is about control under pressure. It's about maintaining composure when everything around you is shifting. As you age, life throws more at you physically, emotionally, existentially. The ability to remain upright, to center yourself both literally and figuratively, becomes a symbol of resilience. So when you stand on one foot, you're not just testing your stability. You're reclaiming your coordination, your independence, and your confidence. 10 seconds may be short, but they can reveal a lifetime's worth of potential. Getting up every morning with a reason to live might be the most powerful factor in determining how well you age and how long you live. While much of the conversation about longevity centers around physical health, strength, mobility, balance, the truth is that purpose is the invisible thread that ties everything together. It is what brings meaning to movement, intention to discipline, and motivation to consistency. The ability to stand up from the floor, walk briskly for 30 minutes, lift a meaningful weight, or balance for 10 seconds, all these are profound indicators of health, yes, but they are also expressions of something deeper, a desire to keep living fully. Without that desire, the habits erode, the body falters, and the mind quietly begins to withdraw. Purpose is what gives your strength a destination. It transforms walking into a journey rather than just a task. It turns lifting into preparation, balance into focus, and motion into momentum. When we examine the few who still possess these 5 capacities after 70, what we see is not just physical aptitude. We see people who have refused to let the passing of years dictate the quality of their days. They wake up with something to do, someone to care for, or a belief that their presence still matters in the world. That belief is not incidental. It is foundational. It doesn't just accompany their health, it helps create it. Science continues to validate what many instinctively know. People with a strong sense of purpose live longer, recover faster, and maintain sharper mental faculties. But you don't need a lab to understand this. You can feel it in your own body. On the days when you wake up with clarity and direction, your energy rises. Your willingness to take care of yourself increases. You stand taller, you breathe deeper, you move with more intention, and that intention is the real medicine. Not just the vitamins or the gym routine, but the reason behind them. It's why you reach for the healthier food, why you stretch before going outside, why you continue practicing that one movement you've nearly mastered. Without that why, even the best habits can become hollow. As we age, the world around us changes. Roles shift, responsibilities fade, people move on or pass away. It becomes dangerously easy to feel invisible, to start believing that your best contributions are behind you. That's the real enemy of aging, not the physical limitations, but the quiet fading of identity. That's why cultivating purpose is not just a mental exercise. It's an act of defiance. It's a declaration that says, I am still here, I still matter, I still have something to give. And your purpose doesn't need to be dramatic. It doesn't need to be written in headlines or celebrated in grand gestures. It could be as simple as tending a garden, mentoring a grandchild, writing a memory, or preparing a meal for someone you love. These are not small things. These are the threads that stitch meaning into your daily life. They keep you grounded in the present while giving you something to look forward to tomorrow. They keep you moving not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. Look back at the 5 abilities we've explored: rising from the floor, walking briskly, lifting 20 pounds, balancing for 10 seconds, and waking with purpose. Each one is deceptively simple, yet together they form a powerful framework for aging well. They represent a combination of movement, strength, coordination, and mindset. They are the difference between decline and vitality, between surviving and thriving. And what unites them all is not just physical capability, but the will to keep showing up for your own life. You see, aging isn't a sentence, it's a stage. And like any stage, it demands a new level of presence, a new kind of wisdom, and a deeper connection to the body and mind that have carried you this far. It's a time to simplify what matters and fortify what lasts. And these 5 markers are not just reflections of your health, they're choices. You choose to train for strength. You choose to walk every day. You choose to work on your balance. You choose to rise from the floor with effort and intention. And above all, you choose to live with meaning. No one is saying this is easy. There will be days when your body aches, when motivation feels distant, when you question whether any of this really makes a difference. But those are the days that count the most. Because each choice you make in those moments, each repetition, each step, each small act of care is a brick in the foundation of your resilience. And over time, that foundation supports not just your physical health, but your emotional fortitude, your cognitive clarity, and your spiritual peace. There is something deeply powerful about reclaiming what aging tries to take from you. The ability to move with confidence, the strength to lift something that matters, the grace to stay upright in a shifting world, and the fire to wake up each day knowing your presence still has weight. You don't need to do what you did at 40. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You just need to stay in the game. You need to keep choosing life, fully, consciously, intentionally. And if you've lost some of these abilities, that's not the end of the story. The body is not fixed. It is responsive. With time and effort, you can regain more than you think. Progress may be slow, but it is never wasted. Every small gain is a victory. Every effort is a signal to yourself and the world. I'm not finished yet. So if you're over 70 and you can still do these 5 things, stand from the floor, walk for 30 minutes, lift 20 pounds, balance for 10 seconds, and live with purpose, know that you are in rare company. But if you can't do them yet, take heart. You're not broken, you're not behind, you're just beginning the next chapter of your strength. Start today. Pick one thing and work on it. Then build from there. Because the road to a longer, better life isn't paved with miracles. It's paved with movement, purpose, and belief, one day at a time. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.